Hello, I'm Dow Bartling, and welcome to another Dow's Weekly Digest. Have you ever noticed that a tree never really stops growing? A young tree stretches the limbs towards the sky because that's the way it was made. But an old tree keeps growing because that's just what healthy trees do. A little bit each year, a new ring, another layer, another season of learning. Funny thing is that people aren't much different. This time of year, we see school buses on the road, kids carrying backpacks, young men and women off to college, and parents are wondering where the summer went. We call it back to school. But I've been thinking, shouldn't back to school be for really all of us? When I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, I had a set of books that were very precious to me. I still have them. Those books were about the Bible, and they had pictures of ancient woodblock relief prints in them. And that really had an impression on me and my imaginations. I would read those books over and over. And to be honest, I didn't understand everything I was reading, but I was fascinated. I remember telling my mother one day, Doris, my adopted mom, and she was in the kitchen. Never forget it. I said all of a sudden, "Mom, I think I want to be Jewish." She looked at me and said, "That's nice. Can I ask her why?" I said, "Well, Sammy Davis Jr. is Jewish, and the Jewish people are God's chosen people." Now she smiled and just said calmly, "Let's keep reading and not decide right away. What do you think?" I said, "Yeah, that's okay." And that was probably my first lesson in education. Read first, decide later. A few years later, I was raising rabbits in 4-H. I would get my hands on everything I could read about raising rabbits. My Sergeant Major Bartling father, he found someone who raised show rabbits. And I learned something even more valuable. You see, books can teach you a lot. But sometimes the best education, it comes from sitting across the table from someone who's already been there, and then listen and ask them questions. Then came the book club years, middle school, I guess you would say. Every month, another book would arrive, and I would just glean through those books. A book on baseball, a book on quarter horses, whatever captured my imagination. Each one, when I would open it and start to read it, it opened a little window into a bigger world. Of course, when the teenage years came, like many teenagers, I eventually reached the stage where I thought I had already knew everything. You remember those years. Back then, I figured that the most important information in life could be found in these few things. They could be found in American Bandstand on Saturday morning, Johnny Carson during the week, and Saturday Night Live on the weekends. Now, looking back, it's amazing how much I knew for someone who knew so little. Then came college. My first year didn't exactly qualify me for the dean's list. In fact, probation was more familiar to me than achievement was. But then I returned the year later. I discovered a sanctuary, the library. Had I not found that place, I'm not sure I would have graduated. It became my refuge, a place where distractions, they disappeared, and learning became a habit, a good habit. And that habit followed me into my professional career. Over the years, I've accumulated enough designations, certifications, and initials after my name that some people have said, Dow, you've got more degrees than a thermometer. They're probably right. Yet, there is a strange thing about education. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. I'm still working on my Spanish. I'm still studying the Bible. Why? Just the other day, I found myself bathing in the Word while studying the Paraclete, not a parakeet and not a pair of cleats. The Paraclete is sent to guide us. After all these years, I continue to discover things that I had not fully understood and probably still don't. And maybe that's the point. Education isn't something you finish. It's something you continue. School may start in August, but learning shouldn't end in May. Every book you read, every person you listen to, every question you ask, every Bible study you attend, every mistake you learn from. That's school. So, as students head back to the classroom this fall, maybe we should ask ourselves a simple question. What am I learning? Because if we're still learning, we're still growing. And if we're still growing, we're still living. So, is it back to school? It is for me. And how about you? You know, the older I get, the less I know for sure. And the good news is, the good Lord gives me plenty left to learn. I'm Dow Bartling. Hope to see you next week, assuming I finish my homework. And blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You have a blessed week, and you take care.